Hey guys, this is Chris again. I wanted to come to you and go ahead and continue with the series on what does the Bible really teach. Um, I have relatives in the Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society, which they tried to talk to me a couple years ago in regards to Jehovah God and the faithful and discreet slave, which when the conversation went down, it didn't go very far because I'm a former youth pastor. I'm now involved in the Hebraic Roots movement. Um, so I've studied my Bible for a long time at a young age, and when they saw that I was not going to be acceptable or receiving to the doctrine, that pretty much ended the conversation. Now, there are once in a while something may be brought up about religion, but we really don't speak that much about it. So, anyway, I wanted to go ahead and continue this series and maybe hopefully give you some pointers and give me some comments in regards to something I may be able to improve on. But we'll go ahead and start from the first chapter. Now, in the What Does the Bible Really Teach book, this book now has been modified to where it's not yellow anymore, it's silver. I don't have one. I've downloaded one on an iPad that I had about 6 months ago, but I got rid of the iPad and I haven't had time to even look through it again. I know there's a lot of changes in there in correspondence to some of the doctrine changes of the witnesses, so I can't really say on it. But as far as What Does the Bible Teach book, the summarization of the first chapter is using God's name and how important it is. And the first thing that I always ask a witness, is it important to know someone's name to have a relationship with? Which the first chapter will tell you it is. I disagree with that because I'm a father of 4 children, and my children knew my name before they knew my name. My name was Dad or Daddy. Being a parent, we all can sympathize and empathize with that chain of thought because our children only have one set of parents as far as the mother and father. Some may not, some may. So, in regards to that, my refutation of the thought that we have to have know their name to have a relationship with somebody, that's not the case. There are many times in many instances in our life where we may not know someone's name, but we can still have a relationship with them. So, and I'm just going to be kind of paraphrasing this to save for time, but some of the scriptures that I use with a witness are Psalm 68:4, Isaiah 57:15, Isaiah 63:16, and Genesis 21:33. So, in regards to that, my question is, why use a name that did not exist? Also, with the name Jehovah, is what is portrayed by the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's a Catholic name, as the J was Latinized, or the English language was Latinized, providing the J. Because in Hebrew, the name would be Yod He Vav He, or the four consonants, as there are no vowels in Hebrew. So, moving forward with that thought, I always ask, why use a name that is not even correct? Because most scholars now will state that Yahweh is the more correct and acceptable way. Even certain publications from the witnesses, as Insight on the Scripture state, I have a small Jehovah's Witness library where I'm at, so I can kind of scan through some of their literature states specifically that Yahweh is more acceptable than what Jehovah is. So my question once again, why use a name that did not exist in his time? At that time, as far as Yeshua would have not said Jehovah, he would have said what his actual name was. Even more to the point, when he addressed him, he never addressed him as his name. He always addressed him as Father. Another question that I ask the Jehovah's Witness, whenever you speak to your parent, do you call them by their first name? I've never met a witness that will tell me that they do, because out of respect, it's very disrespectful to call your parent their first name. They want you to call you, they want to be called mother or father as it's a sign of affection. So, why would Yeshua call God by his first name, being so disrespectful? So, the second part, as far as continuing on page 15, basically states that um, God, or the Father, is known as Jehovah, and the Son is not. He's a created being, which is actually Michael the Archangel. It's a whole other conversation that we'll get into later on, but if you would like to go down that road with the witnesses, you can, but that'll probably end the conversations and them stopping by pretty quick. So, um, What the first chapter also tells you is to ask questions, as they are looking at you as a hopeful and future prospect to joining the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. So you'll be able to ask a lot of free questions without any reprimand. Now, the longer you study, they're going to have expectations for you to start coming to the meetings, to show up, to go to assemblies. And if you're not progressing as far as in the studies, they'll terminate it because they'll feel like they're wasting their time on you. I know because I've had them tell me that we feel like we're wasting our time on you. Why have you invited us over? So, continuing on, in page 17 on paragraph 24, the best way to learn about Jehovah is to examine the Bible. Now, the funny thing is that you're told to examine the Bible in one side of the mouth, but in the other side of the mouth, the Bible cannot be interpreted without the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. It's a documented, proven fact that you can go on certain websites, even old publications, and look to verify that this is the truth. JW.org at one time had access to uh, publications older than 2000. At this time, they only go back until the year 2000. Any further than that, I don't know. I know that they're even taking a lot of literature off of the website that they used to offer, as many people are crying foul, quote unquote, for the literature that has been posted, as it's not scholarly accurate. Case in point, should you believe in the Trinity, the divine name that will endure forever, uh, you can live forever on paradise earth. A lot of these publications are no longer existent because they say it's old light, which is another study for another day. But continuing on, that basically sums up the chapter as far as the first name. Sorry, as far as the divine name. The divine name is extremely important with a Jehovah's Witness, and if it's not used, it's frowned upon. Which, whenever I would study with any witness, I would always prefer the name Yahweh. They would be respectful, but eventually, after even showing the documentation to uh, the witness, they would become confrontational, stating that it's Jehovah and that's what we're going to use because that's tradition. So, um, my question at that point, which is more important, truth or tradition? So, we'll continue more later on. I hope I've educated a little bit, probably not that much, but I appreciate your time and patience. Have a great night. Bye bye.